Hi guys, welcome back to the Batcave, and this week's movie review, Captain America Civil War. Now, just like you guys, we've all been waiting for the last 2 years since they announced this film, and we've all been soaking up all the hype with the trailers and the promos and Cap versus Iron Man, and I couldn't believe how great this film was. I normally tell you how much I like about a film towards the end, but right off the bat, spoiler, I love this film. There wasn't much that I didn't like about this film. As a matter of fact, I always tell you guys the goods and the bads. Trust me, there's not going to be too many bads with this film. This movie was amazing. But let me get into the review, I guess. The plot of this film actually takes place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So just like with all the other films, this one's going to follow the events of Avengers Age of Ultron. So we're going to see Captain America, who's now leading the new team of Avengers out into the world, taking care of issues. We actually have them come across one particular issue that kind of gets out of hand, just like it was in the actual comic books for Civil War. They have an event that gets out of hand, which actually leads to the Sokovia Accords. And as you remember from the original Avengers Age of Ultron, when Ultron and dropping the city back down, all the casualties that took place in that one, well, that's always still been on people's mind. The New York incident's been on people's mind. Even Incredible Hulk incident's been all the destruction and devastation that's going on with them trying to save the world and stop these threats. The rest of the world is saying that, hey, you guys are acting like vigilantes and you guys need to be governed by somebody or controlled by somebody, so that way you guys don't get out of hand, because once you get done, you just up and leave. There's no cleanup, there's no dealing with the aftermath, and that's where we get these Sokovia Accords. So now in this particular film, because of the incident that happens at the beginning of the film, the UN is actually pushing hard for them to say, hey, we need some type of control, structure, and restrainment. And obviously we got the two sides. We got Tony Stark, who's on the side of, hey, we need to be on some type of leash. I didn't say a leash, but we need to be controlled by somebody, so that way we're not doing whatever we want to do. And Captain America is saying that, hey, you know what, that's a good idea, but what if they restrict us from doing something that we want to do? Hey, if there's somebody who needs to be saved, but because of politics and things of that sort, we can't get out there and do it. So, you definitely feel both sides in the argument, and you can stand upon both sides. Now, in real life, we want everybody, heroes alike, police, military, governments, all to be governed by somebody, not to just do whatever they want. So you definitely kind of feel Iron Man's side. But as you see, I'm with Team Cap here. You see as a superhero how that would be too restrictive, and how having somebody be able to control what you do would remind him a lot of what was going on with Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D. So that's basically the plot of this film, and it's a back and forth about which side is right and how can they come to terms and make everything work right in the whole grand scheme of being an Avenger. Now, the goods of this film, everything. Absolutely, okay, I'm lying. Not absolutely everything, but for the most part, almost everything worked in this film. The action in this film was absolutely great. I think every character had their best fight scene that I've seen in any Marvel movie so far. Black Widow went crazy awesome. She was basically a ninja in this film, especially in some of the earlier action scenes. Captain America, as usual, has some great fight scenes, but we get to see new characters like Black Panther. Man, the fighting style that they give for Black Panther is awesome. They definitely try to give him something a little bit different, and they definitely give him a lot of little cat-like moves, so that way you can feel his character and the design of what they were trying to go for with him. And then moving on, we get Spider-Man. So we've always been dealing with the fact that this is our third Spider-Man if you count the cinematic universe, but obviously in the grand scheme of, you go back to like Electric Company and stuff like that, we've had multiple Spider-Mans and multiple interpretations. Tobey Maguire nailed the nerdy Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield nailed the wisecracking Spider-Man, and Tom Holland has become now a mesh between the two, and absolutely did a great. Like I was talking about with the action scenes, he does some great stuff. You definitely get to see a lot of the agility that Spider-Man normally has, and when you see it, you're gonna fall in love with the character that Tom Holland brings to the screen. So other things with action scenes, obviously they've always done big set pieces in all the Marvel films. You know, car chases, the one you saw in the trailer with Black Panther and Winter Soldier and Cap. Those are that was definitely an awesome scene. And when you get to the airport scene, you're not gonna believe how awesome that airport fight scene is. Other good things were, like I touched on Black Panther, just his character with no origin story. You just accepted it. It was great. They did enough to where you were like, you were into it. You didn't need to be told how you made the suit. You didn't need to be told how, you know, how his powers work. You just accepted what they were in the midst of the story, and you got it. When we get to a Black Panther movie, we can go over all of that. But his character was awesome as an introduction to him. Introduction to our new Spider-Man was awesome. You'll love, and I'm trying not to get too spoilery, but you'll love how he is on screen. Let me see other things that I liked about this movie. I love the debate portion of it. Like I said, the back and forth with, you know, which is better to have, control or be able to act whenever you want to. And that's the biggest argument that goes on it. And that theme carries through the whole movie. And not like with other films where it's just a premise. This one is the total point behind this movie. Yeah, that was probably the great thing I like about it. The acting was always great. The comedy that they have in it. I will say they toned it down a little bit, like as they were doing in Age of Ultron, where it seemed like it went a little bit too far and too jokey. This one, because they tried to keep more of a serious tone. They did throw some jokes in there, but for the most part, the tone was very, very even keel, serious. And when the jokes came, they actually hit harder because it wasn't just joke after joke after joke. So those are the goods that I liked about this film. I guess moving on to the bads, not really many bads. I'm not even going to call them bads. What I'm going to call them is nitpicking. So now we move on to the nitpicking of the Civil War movie. The nitpicking that I had with this film is that, how I told you with the theme of the you know, which side is right carrying throughout the movie. It seems like it was more of a civil disagreement on one particular on these accords and how they're going to be acted out. And if it wasn't for Bucky being introduced, they really wouldn't have gotten into much of a war. And the way Bucky is being handled in this particular film, it kind of guides everything to why this has become a bigger issue than just being a piece of paper and what they're going to do going forward. So that was probably my whole thing, and it's like it was, but I mean, it was an idealistic thing, so it was nitpicking. The other thing is that I talked about all the Avengers having these great action scenes, and the one Avenger I would say that kind of got a little lost would be Vision. I mean, not everybody got to see a lot of screen time because it was really a Captain America Iron Man film. But the screen time that they got, I think everybody really maximized out of the screen time that they got, except for Vision. Vision was kind of left, you know, a little bit of babysitting at time, and he wasn't always there with everything that was going on because he is an overpowered character, and to have him in certain scenes would basically, okay, Vision will take care of everything. So I kind of understand why he was a little bit on the sidelines, but he does, you know, get some time in action scenes and things of that sort. He does have an impact on the movie. Just he's not in it as much as other characters have you seen in trailers are. So in my last nitpick with this film would be back to Spider-Man. Actually, is you could tell in the script where he wasn't necessarily a part of it, and where this mysterious second script was where he was a part of it, where it seemed like the reason how they connected to him was a little weak and felt a little bit forced to get in it. But once you got in it and you just accepted it and you kept going, it didn't really bother you. So it's a nitpicky thing, just to give something to say I didn't like about it. Like I said, my 99.99999% of what I did like about this film. So with that being said, like I always do in these reviews, should you really go see the movie? Oh my God, yes, go see the movie. Go see the movie. There is no reason why you shouldn't see the movie, even if you hadn't watched any of the other Marvel Cinematic cinematic movies, if you hadn't watched any Avenger movies, if you just accept what it is, it's a great film. It's an absolute great film. There's bonuses to being a part of the cinematic universe and watching the other films, because you'll get a lot of the things that are going on. You'll know more about the characters that are in this film. But other than that, like action movies, go see it. You like Marvel movies, go see it. You like superhero movies, go see it. You like movies in general, go see it. If that's not your forte, then you might want to take a pass on it. It's a great film. I would say everybody should get out and go see it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. How many times you can afford, I guess. That's all I got for this particular review. Next week, or I may try to do a midweek review, because there's another movie that I do want to see. I don't want to mention it now. Just wait till the review comes up, and I'll try to get it up as soon as I get a chance to see it. So other than that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me if you like this video. Tell me if you like the movie, or what you found your nitpicky things with the film, and put them down in the comments, so we'll talk back and forth about it. I'll probably do with Manny on the show a spoiler review, so we can go in a little bit more in depth about the things that we did see, if you've seen the movie by that point. But I'll wait till we get to a Goods podcast to talk about that. And make sure you subscribe, guys, so that way you know when these reviews go up, or any other videos that we do on the channel. Outside of that, I want to thank you guys. Take it easy. See you next week.